I really trust my intuition, and it's always protected me when traveling. I've been in some weird situations on paper, but it totally saved me. So I was like, let's just sit outside of the gates of the resort and see what happens. This is a throwback. Hey you, welcome to Black Travel Podcast. If you're listening to this particular recording, this is part of my throwback season. It means that it was recorded before my official launch date. It may not have the exact format as a regular episode, or maybe the travel news is a little outdated, but don't worry, it's still interesting and fun and funny and all those things that you want in a Black Travel Podcast.
We've been cleared for takeoff.
This is Cherie B. I thank you for listening, and without further ado, enjoy. What's up, everybody? It's your girl Cherie, and welcome back for another episode of the travel podcast that is blackety black, so don't talk back. And just to remind you of who I am, my name is Cherie. I'm a travel enthusiast. I love traveling. I'm a former expat. I can't wait to travel for the rest of my life. And I'm really interested in representation of travelers of color in the travel industry. And I would like for our stories and our perspectives to be showcased. And then, excuse me.
Hello.
Is this your seat?
Are you in my seat? Oh, maybe
I always have the window. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I'm in this aisle seat, so it's all
okay.
good.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, it's all good. Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. Who are you?
I'm gonna be your seatmate on this journey.
Ah!
My name is Geneviève. I was checking you out in like the gate area, and you seem cool, so I'm glad I'm sitting next to you, another black traveler.
It's a little creepy.
Black people notice each other when they're just
yes, we do.
Okay?
What up?
So I spotted you immediately. So just to tell you a little bit about myself, I'm Geneviève. I love to travel as well. I have been to 5 of the 7 continents. I lived in Kenya as a child, and I just need to get to Australia and Antarctica to finish out this journey.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm a teacher, so I take full advantage of my extended breaks so that I can travel and explore this amazing world.
Yes. And we didn't really just meet, did we?
We didn't. You've been one of my BFFs for quite some time now.
Oh my gosh, tell them how we met.
So, I am originally from Los Angeles, California, LA. And I moved to New York about 11 years ago, maybe 12. I met you, Cherie, because I was trying to live by myself in New York, and I just could not afford it on a teacher's salary. So I had to get a roommate, but I didn't know anybody here, or all the people I knew already had someone. Mm-hmm. So I had to look on Craigslist for a roommate, and who did I find but you?
Yeah.
And that was one of the best possible ways to start my journey in the city that never sleeps.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. I wrote a very specific ad because I wanted a specific kind of person to live with.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want any smokers. Mm-hmm. I didn't want any bigots. I wanted someone that was happy with their job because I didn't want them to complain when they came home at night.
Yes.
Worked out.
The best part of your ad was, I am a proud black woman and I will not live with a bigot.
Yes.
And when I read that, I was like, oh, I need to call this person.
Yes. And I got like very tailored responses and I was very happy. You got to be specific when you put stuff out there. All right. So most importantly, how was Afropunk?
Oh, Afropunk was amazing.
Afropunk in Brooklyn. Yes. Just to clarify, because they do have a London and a Paris and
now a Johannesburg coming up at the end of this year.
But this is your 3rd time.
This is my 3rd time at Afropunk. My first 2 times were with you, so I really missed you this year.
I know.
But it was great. My favorite things about Afropunk, I love the music, of course, but hands down, it's the people. I love looking and being surrounded by all these beautiful people and just looking at how people are dressed and their outfits. And I love all the vendors because I'm an artisan myself, so I love creating things and to see what people make and their clothing and outfits. And they had a really great activist row this year where they had like 10 different organizations that were working to close Rikers, to end drug sentences, all kinds of good stuff that was local and international. So it was wonderful.
Dope. I saw some pictures online and I was like, wow, people. I mean, I can't even, like, you have to put planning into, I mean, you can totally come as you are, but you can tell people put a lot of planning into their hair,
Yes.
their toenail colors, their
Yes.
scents.
Face paint.
Yes, everything. And everyone looks so beautiful. And I was like, if there's a heaven, like, this would be one version of a heaven I would love to be in. It's just such a beautiful symphony of sights and sounds and just support
Yes.
and beauty. So
Yeah.
tell me about the music.
The music was great.
Who was your favorite artist?
I will say, my favorite artist was a guy, and his name is Michael Kiwan. I'm going to find him. He's from London. And I didn't know anything about him. Kiwanuka, if I'm saying his last name right. This guy from London, I just happened to post up, put my blanket down, and I loved him. He was jamming. I read my paper, ate my lunch, and just enjoyed him. And Michael Kiwanuka, yeah, he's from London. I just liked his vibe, and I was like, I will play this music when I'm at the house, just chilling. So he was great. I also really loved something Clark Jr.
Gary Clark is life.
He was amazing.
Sexy blues man,
yes.
Even though he's taken, but he can sing his behind off, and his focus is not even his voice; it's his soul and the guitar. But his voice is sick.
It is. He has such a range. Like he had a little bit of like a Maxwell vibe going on at certain times, and then he was just like kind of more. His voice got really deep and rough, and he was amazing.
You can groove, and it'll put you to sleep.
Yes.
And then you saw Solange.
I did see Solange the night before. I went to Afropunk both days and got there very late both days. So I really wanted to see Macy Gray and some other folks, but I missed those guys. I did see Solange, and that was really wonderful. And then yesterday, I was pretty far back for her performance, but yesterday I was really close up to the stage, and she was like 5 feet away from me. And I was like, oh, that's Solange. So it was just cool. It was I loved also that Stacey Ann Chin came out and did this really powerful piece. Poetry, spoken word piece about what's happening in our country right now. And it was just, I appreciate Afropunk for creating this space where people can come together and just be.
Yes. Awesome. I'm jealous, but I'll be there next year, hopefully.
Yes.
And
my sister and my dad both want to come next year. So you got some people to come with you too.
Okay. How's your dad gonna...
He said he wants to come to Afropunk.
Okay.
He's also trying to go to Burning Man next year. So
wow,
if you want to come with us, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it.
Dope.
Thank you and enjoy your flight.
All right, hey everybody, it's time to take off with some travel news.
Did you guys know that Airbnb hired the actor Danny Glover, not to be confused with Daniel Glover, but the older Danny Glover, as an advisor because they want to boost diversity amongst hosts. And so, Danny Glover is saying, he wants to have African American and Latino hosts take advantage of the economic opportunity of hosting on the Airbnb platform. So, they've run into some issues in terms of Airbnb while Black. And so they're looking to see how they can help that. And Danny Glover was the person they chose to go to.
That's pretty smart because certain actors, they evoke trust and wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
And because he's older and he's respected, I think it's perfect, especially for the older folks who travel and just want to save money. Because sometimes you can get an Airbnb for a third of the price of the average hotel room.
So true.
So I think that was a great choice. Now I'm wondering who they're going to choose to represent all the younger Black folks. But we'll see.
The people that are really using Airbnb, probably.
Yeah.
Well, you know what else? I also saw that they are partnering also with the NAACP to host these information sessions and kind of run campaigns aimed at encouraging people of color to become hosts. So I have been an Airbnb host in the past. And it's actually really great. I've met a lot of Black travelers who have stayed at my house, which has been really cool.
Nice. All right, cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. What else is going
on? So Samuel L. Jackson and Magic Johnson were, being symbols of Black excellence while vacationing. They were in Tuscany, Italy recently. And, they went shopping at Louis Vuitton and Prada. And so Magic actually posted on Twitter a picture of them. And he said, Sam and I chilling out on a bench yesterday in Forte dei Marmi. I'm sure I butchered that. Italy. The fans started lining up to take pictures with us. So you would think, everybody recognizes these two mega icons. They're famous, especially Samuel L. Jackson. He's the highest grossing actor in Hollywood, period, over everybody.
Wow.
Did you know that?
No,
I had to Google it because and then Magic Johnson's Magic Johnson.
Exactly.
Shout out to Magic Johnson Theater. He doesn't even own it anymore, but in Harlem, that's a thing. So
in LA, that was the first movie theater that opened up near my house in LA when I was a kid.
Look, there you go. But basically, one of the stories was just about how anti-Black the media. So basically, people started making fun of them online. They considered them to be, or confused them to be, lazy migrants, like basically lazy African migrants. That's basically what it is. So it was a reference to Laura Boldrini. She's the president of the Chamber of Deputies in Italy, and she has drawn fierce criticism for her progressive open migration policy. And so people basically said, oh, look at them. They have these shopping bags from these expensive stores. They're using the government's money that they're supposed to be using for shelter and food and things for their livelihood, and they're spending the Italian government's money on shopping at these luxury stores. And so not only were they mistaken for migrants, which migrants, there's nothing wrong with that, especially if the government, is accepting. Mm-hmm. But just the fact that people are so rude.
Yes. No, it's
and
true.
so freaking racist.
Yes. And very anti-Black.
Very anti-Black. So.
And that you don't even know Magic Johnson and Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, that's
very American-centric, but Samuel Jackson.
No, it reminds me of that story. It was a few years ago when Oprah went to some boutique store in some part of either Scandinavia or Western Europe, and this woman refused to sell her a bag because she's like, I'm sorry, you cannot afford this bag. And she said, I want that bag. And she's like, I'm so sorry. No, this bag is going to be too expensive.
What?
Honey, I'm Oprah Winfrey.
No, you don't even need to say Winfrey. I'm Oprah.
I'm Oprah.
Period.
Who are you? And then she basically, the woman.
She was like, bags for everyone from the store next to this one because we ain't patronizing this place.
No, but Oprah mentioned it in the interview, and people started stalking the store, stalking the woman. Like, how could you not know who Oprah is? How dare you? You know why? Because she's Black. She's a woman. Whatever the story was.
Yeah,
and then the woman started crying, and I don't know what happened. I don't know if she got fired, she left, something, but it ruined her life. And then Oprah apologized because she's like, oh, I didn't mean for that. I was just making commentary about, this is the Black experience abroad. Even if you're super famous and wealthy,
you are still seen. On a side note, my friend Michelle and her friends, a group of mainly Black women, just came from Spain. And she said that a lot of time where they were in San Sebastian, people were just like, what are you guys doing here? Like it was like they really stood out, and it was her first time in Spain. It didn't feel like it had a negative vibe to her, but people were just like, almost like kind of shocked.
I've heard so many mixed stories about Spain. Like mixed stories. People that have had the times of their lives, and then other people that are like, yeah, no cabs would stop for me.
Oh,
so,
I've never been, but it's on my travel list.
Me too.
I do want to go.
Yeah, me too. All right, so what else is...
All right, well, what else is up? So, I'm not sure if you guys knew that Ghana has now entered the space race, and they have their first satellite, which is now orbiting planet Earth. And so this is
Ghana.
Yeah, this is travel news, but travel to another,
dimension.
Outside. Yes, another dimension outside.
Soon we're going to be on Mars.
Are we?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, see, things, maybe I will go with on a Ghana ship to Mars. I don't know, maybe.
A spaceship.
Yes, a spaceship.
Not a sea ship.
Oh, that is horrible. That is not, oh my God. Spaceship, clearly, no. Oh, Cherie. All right, so... Ghana's first satellite, which is called the GhanaSat-1, recently began its orbit, and it had a little bit of help from NASA. It's now actually in operation, and here's what's really cool. The satellite has 2 missions. Number 1, it has cameras on board for detailed monitoring of Ghana's coastlines. But number 2, as the teacher, I'm super hyped also about, there's like this educational piece. So they're also using the integrate satellite technology. They're also using the satellite to integrate satellite technology into high school curriculum. So that's super dope to give kids that kind of real world experience, and they can use this satellite and see what's happening. So shout out to Ghana for entering the space race and having their first satellite that's now orbiting the planet Earth.
Very cool. I love seeing Africa win in all ways.
Yes.
So recently, Qatar opened its doors and lifted visa requirements for up to 80 countries around the world. You no longer have to pay for a visa. You're good. There's more information on QatarAirways.com, so you can check to see if your country's on the list. It's much more lenient than some other countries in the region. But on a side note, shout out to the CEO of Qatar Airways. His name is, I'm going to get this right. His name is Akbar Al Baker, which I'm sure is not pronounced Baker, but I'm sure it's something else. I apologize. No shade on that, but he recently was at this conference in Dublin, and it was a gala, and he criticized American Airlines, saying grandmothers serve you on American flights.
Oh.
Like, basically saying that flight attendants are old, they're unattractive, and he boasted, the average age of my cabin crew is only 26 years. Well, first of all, sir, it's great having seasoned traveling experts as your flight attendants. And grandmothers have a nurturing energy. And they're not even grandmothers. Everyone's mixed.
And I will say I have flown on Qatar Airlines pretty recently. And I'm trying to think back to the flight attendants. I don't think they were all 26. Okay? They were younger, but they weren't super young. But I will say Qatar, I'm not okay with this guy's comments. But Qatar Airlines was a great airline. Okay? It was wonderful.
Was it?
It's
really?
Really good food, really great staff, amazing movies. I never really watch movies on flights, but I was coming from Thailand, so I had a lot of time on my hands. And I watched a documentary about New York City, all kinds of stuff. But it was in Doha, in Qatar, where I had to check my laptop. I was trying to do work on my flight back because I passed through Doha. And they made you check any electronic device over the size of a cell phone. And I was really pissed. And I was like, what? Why do I have to check this? Blah, 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 blah. And I felt really bad. It was a lesson in check your privilege, Geneviève, and have a little more compassion, because I thought it was the airline making that decision, but it was actually the U.S. government saying that any travelers coming through Qatar could not travel on flights. And I was pissed. And I just was like, this is such an inconvenience. And is it really keeping America safe? I don't know.
I would like to make America safe for the first time. So, anyway, so the airline unions were all up in arms about this comment. How dare you? Delta Airlines Senior Vice President of In-Flight Service, Allison Osmond, responded in a written statement saying, "We won't let anyone demean our workforce with rude, misogynistic comments. Having 33 years with Delta and starting out as a flight attendant, I would never have learned the ropes without senior flight attendants."
Right on.
Senior flight attendants shepherding me along the way. They molded the culture and taught me everything from how to serve our customers to how to maximize a layover. Ow. Yeah, that only comes from years of experience, and I don't want just all millennials serving me, because when I ask them questions, they're going to be like, can't you just look it up? No, I can't.
No, I'm sorry.
The
Wi-Fi's not working.
Yeah,
sorry.
Exactly. Thanks.
Yeah, okay. Speaking of people making rude, misogynistic comments, and speaking of people making America unsafe, the person who is currently residing in the White House, whose name I will not name on this podcast.
We shall not.
No. So we know that person enacted this temporary travel ban and got a lot of pushback in the courts and all kinds of things. But this travel ban, which really is targeting people from Iran, Libya, Somalia, Syria, Sudan, Yemen, and a ton of refugees, is also causing a lot of trauma for many Americans. Obviously, those of us who have family and friends from these places. But this is a really interesting group. People who are trying to go on their honeymoon, Cherie, are being impacted by this travel ban.
Black love.
Yes. And so this one site, they surveyed 400 couples, and they found that almost 20% of the couples had altered their honeymoon plans because of this travel ban. Almost 1 in 5. And so it's also having a specific impact on Black couples and Black travelers and Black women, because some women who are Black in the United States who may not yet be citizens are afraid to leave to go on their honeymoon because they're afraid that they may not be guaranteed re-entry. So, not only is this very poor excuse for a person in charge of our country.
P.S. also misogynistic and rude.
Yes, and just racist and homophobic and transphobic, just everything.
Just downright despicable.
Yeah, xenophobic, ugh. Anyways, so not only is he enacting hell on folks in their homes, he's trying to enact hell on you if you're trying to leave your home to celebrate your love. So, yeah, just not a fan, and that's what's happening.
Yes, okay. Well, speaking of bans, if you're an American citizen and you're thinking of going to North Korea, don't. Because
I was not planning on going there, but okay.
Your passport, well, some people think, I'd rather be anywhere than America. No, rethink that, because North Korea sucks. And as of early September, your American passport is no longer valid. It will be the only place in the world where Americans are not allowed to travel. And Americans living in North Korea are urged to leave immediately because you're at risk for being there long term and they basically can't help you. They don't help you anyway, but they can't help you at all if you're in North Korea.
Wow.
As you know, North Korea is threatening to bomb up Guam, and
I just actually heard that Japan just announced that they sent a missile that's moving towards the northern part of Japan. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, and Guam is used to getting threats all the time, so there's mixed feelings on the ground there. But don't go to North Korea, basically. I don't know if you are a traveler of color and you have been to North Korea recently, please email us with your experience.
Yes.
Write into hello@blacktravelpodcast.com. I would love to hear your experience. I've heard, I've only seen a couple of documentaries and short videos and read some personal accounts, but I would love to hear just why you chose to go there and what you learned.
Like. Yeah.
Like what?
Give us the inside scoop, because all I see are those state-sanctioned videos.
It's awful.
Yes.
Yeah, and sometimes they make it seem like North Koreans are just brainwashed, la la la. But that's not true. They a lot of them know what's up. They're trapped. They're struggling through. You know what? Let me not get into it, because I don't need North Korea targeting me. So I will just say we are praying for the people in North Korea, and there is one Black traveler who can make a difference, and his name is Dennis Rodman. And I just want to say that I heard on Charlemagne's podcast a while ago that he was like, look, what's his name? Kim Jong-il? No, that's
Kim Jong-un.
Daddy's name?
Yes.
Okay, Kim Jong-un and Dennis Rodman are in love.
He's
like, yes. So Charlemagne, personality, radio personality, TV personality in the States, basically said, I've been to prison. I know the look on two men's faces when they're in love. I see the way they look at each other. They are in love.
What?
And he basically said, Dennis Rodman has the power to stop this from happening. So Dennis, I need you to get it together and let Brother Man know we appreciate this earth, okay? Yes. And we appreciate living on it, and we appreciate peace. And Trump does not speak for us.
No, we as an American people are not represented by this man.
No, we are not.
So, as a Black American people, no matter what those two ladies say, because they were getting paid by Trump.
Ooh,
those crazy ladies
from YouTube,
who are sisters.
I can't. The two
Black women who
the young ones or the old ones?
The older ones.
I cannot stand
them. I forgot their names, but
their names are not important. They're awful.
Yes.
Yeah, they do. He does not speak for us. So basically, we cool. We cool.
Yes.
Dennis, we cool.
Yes.
Kim, I feel like this is a big ego trip. Everybody's walking around holding their pants to be nice and, trying to prove who's bigger. And we don't need all of that.
No,
we just need to live our lives peacefully. So get it together. And that's it for travel news.
Yay.
And I would like to share my business.
Okay.
This week, I would love to focus on the Blue Hole in Jamaica. This is in Ocho Rios, Jamaica. So Ochi. Many travelers, when they're going to Jamaica, one of the must-see spots on their list is Dunn's River. I have no problem with Dunn's River. However, I'm an advocate of the Blue Hole because it's run by local Jamaicans. It's touristy, but it's very grassroots.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful space. You're in the middle of the jungle. The water is this beautiful sky blue. It's refreshing. It's clean. You got lifeguards, which are just some local dudes guiding you all throughout. You know, they could tell you which rock to step on, which way. You know,
Oh.
they just guide you every step of the way, literally. And I'm an earthy girl. You know, I love just.
You love beats. You're earthy like that.
I hate beats. But I love I like being outdoors. I like mountains. I like clean water. I like,
Mhm.
you know, dipping my toes in mud and clay from the earth and hot water and cold water. And I just like feeling fresh and outdoorsy. And the Blue Hole was like heaven for me. It was just so magical. I felt so clean and so fresh. And so fresh and so clean. Yes. And some of the lifeguards were very sexy. I do have a tip. You can come with your own water shoes. You will need water shoes because some of the rocks are very sharp. Or you can buy them from some of the local merchants. I'm not going to hate on them. They sell them when you get there. But bring your own waterproof camera because that's how they try to get you. And if it wasn't for this lady we were on a trip with who paid $80 for a CD of photos.
What?
Taken from a freaking cell phone. I don't know how they talked her into paying that much money, but she agreed and she could afford it, so she paid. But no, just bring your own camera, get your life, tip the local lifeguards because they really do rely on tips. And yeah, the Blue Hole is awesome. So I want to send a postcard to all of you from the Blue Hole in Ocho Rios, Jamaica.
Nice. I was just in Jamaica and we did not make it to Ocho Rios, so I will make sure we go back there.
Yes.
And I will try to find that jewelry so I know which rock to step on.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds amazing.
Where are you sending a postcard from?
Well, I want to send a postcard from another beautiful tropical paradise, but this is in a different part of the world, from Konai, which is the most beautiful tiny little island in the Andaman Sea in Thailand. Beautiful. So I recently came back from there, and I will say hands down, it was the most naturally beautiful place I have ever been in my life.
Damn.
It took us 2 boats to get there and a couple hours, but once we were there, oh my gosh, we were in paradise for 5 days. So just imagine we stayed at this great place called Coco Cottage. Shout out to Coco Cottage. It was amazing. It was all these little cottages right on the beach. Phenomenal food. Had some delicious mango smoothies all day. Really good cashew chicken. Really good, just amazing Thai food. And a delicious breakfast. And you had Thai breakfast, Western breakfast, all kinds of good stuff. And we would just chill on the beach all day. You could go snorkeling. You could go kayaking. You could walk up the beach and get a little Thai massage outdoors. It was phenomenal. So it was one of the most peaceful, and I read 3 books while I was there. It was beautiful. So Konai, I got to get back, and Coco Cottage was the jam. It was one of the most wonderful places I've ever stayed, with a really great staff and really hospitable, great hikes. We went hiking, we walked on the beach, drank good drinks, like brought our little board games and our cards, played games at night. It was awesome. So I am sending a postcard from a tiny little island named Konai, and it's actually spelled Kongai in the Andaman Sea in Thailand. And shout out to the folks at Coco Cottage for holding it down. I will be back.
Nice. All right, cool. Thanks for that postcard. All right, y'all. It's time to show some love to a business making a difference for travelers of color, making our lives easier out in this cold, cruel, despicable, wonderful, beautiful, smelling good world.
Well, I would like to talk a little bit about an amazing neck pillow that I just discovered. So I am not a fan of neck pillows, Cherie, because I don't know, they're just not my thing, but my husband is obsessed with them. So in our home, we have probably 5 different neck pillows for traveling. Yes, I said 5.
Why do you need 5?
We don't need 5, but we have 5 because we'll get to the airport and realize we forgot the neck pillow at home, so we will buy another one.
Oh my God.
So we have neck pillows, right? But I would be super down to get this one from Reflection Design. It's a wax print fabric neck pillow. They are $34, And they are in these beautiful, bright West African print.
They're so hot.
Yes, they're so cute, right? So the thing that's really cool too is the cover is removable. So you can, once you get home, from that international flight, when you had all those germs and it's been just everywhere on the floor, on the back of the seat, you can take that off and wash it because
Love it.
nobody needs to be bringing germs from Jamaica or Thailand or Antarctica if you are so lucky. So, it's really great. It has a removable cover and it comes in 4 beautiful bright colors. So they have a green, fuchsia, a purple, and a teal blue. And they're made to order, so you should check them out from Reflection Design, and it's Reflection with a K, not a C. And they are wax print fabric neck pillows, and I might get one for myself or gift one to my husband so he can add to his collection.
I love that it comes with these ties. You can tie them directly to your luggage so you don't forget it at home. I'm a big neck pillow person. Cherie? No, because I always leave my neck pillow at home, and every time I get on my flight, I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Because I just fall asleep so easily with it on, and I love just falling asleep on a plane.
Yeah. Well, nice. So we'll check these out. Reflection Design neck pillows.
Thank you. Black owned, beautiful, African, makes your neck pop.
Time for story time, where we spill our rooibos tea about our own travel stories that we've never told.
Okay, well, this one is not that juicy,
What?
but it is random.
Okay.
So,
I'll go
me
for that.
and my sorority sister were in Dominican Republic. I believe we were in Puerto Plata, if I'm not mistaken.
All right.
Gorgeous. Everyone was attractive. I was like, what is this? What's in the water?
Dominicans are beautiful.
They are just beautiful. And we were on a resort but couldn't wait to get off the resort. And my sorority sister is Haitian.
Okay.
And there's mad undercover Haitians in DR.
Okay.
So she would instantly recognize, she had the Haitian radar. So she would recognize it like that person's Haitian. She would just go up to them speaking Creole. They would reply in Spanish. She would reply again in Creole. They would reply in Spanish.
Whoa.
And she was patient, and then they started speaking Creole to her in a low voice. I don't know what that was about.
It was about the mad hatred Dominicans got for Haitians.
Well, yes. But,
Some
they tried,
happening
but
there.
they couldn't. She wouldn't let them get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
So we got hooked up that way because the resort was just like, it's all-inclusive, and that's nice. But we wanted to eat where the locals ate, and we wanted to just see what they really treasured in their own backyard.
And not just really travel.
I want to really travel and not eat American food on a beach
In
that,
DR.
yeah. Anyway, so I have this thing, which is really bad, and I'm not encouraging anyone else, but I really trust my intuition, and it's always protected me when traveling. I've been in some weird situations on paper, but it totally saved me. So I was like, let's just sit outside of the gates of the resort and see what happens.
Oh my gosh.
So
Crazy.
we're dressed in all white, I believe. We had just come from a day of seeing some underwater caves, and we, saw a spot where Christopher Columbus used to live, and
down with Columbus.
Yeah,
Ugh.
thumbs down. So I don't know, we were just sitting there literally in an alleyway, and these 2 guys drive up in motorcycles, and
What?
I was like, she was like, hey, what's up? Whatever. And I did not want to speak to them. So I pretended that I couldn't communicate. But then one guy mentioned, oh, I just moved here from the Bronx. So many Dominicans in the Bronx.
Yes.
So I lit up you from New York too? And then we started this conversation. And we immediately had this connection with each other. And next thing I know...
A connection or a connection?
No, and I will tell all those connection stories on this podcast, but this wasn't one of them. This was just safe, fun, college fun. So next thing I know, me and my sorority sister, she hops on the back of one bike, I hop on the back of the other bike. We could not, only one of them spoke English. The one she was with didn't speak English. He only spoke Spanish. She didn't speak Spanish. She only speaks Creole and English. Mm-hmm. And I was like, good luck. And then we started we didn't even know where they were taking us. I was just like, but I feel fine. Like my intuition was like, you're good. They're not gonna take you anywhere crazy. We were like, yeah, we just want to hang out.
Yeah.
And there was no red lights, no street signs. Traffic was going all crazy, and it was just a wild ride, literally through the streets.
Did you have a helmet on?
There was no helmet. They didn't even have helmets on.
Okay.
I know, really bad.
Your intuition was really working.
It was really working. And then next thing I know, they drive us to this club, and it was the most lit party. One of the best parties I've ever been to.
Nice.
And I was just like, wow, so much energy. Everyone was dancing so hard, like to all kinds of music I would hear in New York, but also like music that they love. And people were like, I just remember people were climbing on walls and dancing, and we just had the most amazing time. And then they drove us back to the resort. They didn't even ask for our phone numbers. They were just like, yeah, we're just happy that we had a great time. And we gave each other hugs, and we went to sleep. But it was like it was just like one of those nights where you go to sleep smiling.
Yes.
And so shout out to random fun.
Yes.
And hopping on the bikes of strangers' motorcycles and feeling like you're good.
Yes. And does Black Travel Podcast endorse that kind of behavior?
No, listen, it's your travel experience. We're just showcasing it.
This is true.
So what about you? Spill your dirt.
So I want to talk about a time when I was in Brazil with my girlfriend Sasha, and we had gone for a dance workshop. So we were there for probably, I think, a little over 2 weeks for this workshop. So we were in Salvador de Bahia, Northeast Brazil, beautiful place to go to. I got to also tap into some capoeira and play capoeira there, and that was awesome. And so we were like, okay, our dance workshop is over. Let's go inland towards the Amazon and go to these. We had heard that this place had these like natural water slides. So we were like, yes, let's go check it out. I think it was like a 2 or 3 hour bus ride inland. So we were there for a couple days, beautiful spot. We hiked to these natural waterfalls. They were so fun. And then we found this place where you could go zip lining, and then they had this really dope underwater cave. So I speak very little Portuguese. At that point, I spoke like none. My friend Sasha speaks just a little bit. And so we went to the spot. We were like, let's go to this underwater cave. And there was this guide there who speaks solely Portuguese. So between his Portuguese and Sasha's little bit of Portuguese, we realized, okay, we just got our headlamps on. He gave us our life jackets, and it was me, Sasha, our guide, who was like a big Brazilian guy who like straddled a kayak on his stomach. He had the major flashlight, and then there was this French father and his 2 young sons. So we're swimming into this dark cave, and it's like, ooh, fun and beautiful, and we're like looking up, and then I look over to my right, and there's this like hella fake looking giant, looked like a very large dog-sized guinea pig. But it looked so fake. And it was just chilling on this, like, we're in the water, and there's like this little rock above. It's just chilling on this rock. And so I try to communicate to the guide, why did you guys put that fake statue in here? And he was like, it's not fake. And I was like, yeah, right. It looked so fake, and it was not moving. It was straight up like a statue, but it looked like somebody had put, like, I don't know, just like a lawn. Something that you put on your lawn in this beautiful natural cave. So he assured us it was not fake, but we just kept swimming. So we go deeper in the cave. We see all these beautiful things, blah, blah, blah. And on our way back out, this is maybe like 20 minutes later, we pass it again. This exact same place has not moved. And I'm like, I say again, or get Sasha to explain to him, like, ask, really, why is that there? And he's like, it's not fake. So he's on his kayak, right? So he's above the water. The rest of us are in the water. Me, Sasha, these 2 little boys, and their dad. He's like, okay, this lady is not believing me. So he swims over to this statue, gets real close. That shit jumps in the water.
Oh, hell no.
And starts swimming. I lost my mind and swam hella fast out of that cave. And all I could hear was the 2 little boys being like, Papa, Papa, Papa. And so we like get outside, the lights back, and I just started busting up. And Sasha comes out, and then the kids and their dad and the guide, and I was like, oh my God, what was that? And essentially, so the guide was like laughing at us, just like, you dumb Americans, like, really, you guys, you know. And we later found out it was something called a capybara, which if you look up a capybara, it's like they're just like these giant guinea pigs, but they're like the size of dogs. And he said that capybara had been separated from its mom, like when it was young, and so it had been it grew up pretty much in the cave, and it like never left. But that's not their natural habitat. So it was just great. It taught me like, dude, I have to go to the Amazon someday, because if I'm only a couple hours from the coast and I'm seeing things like a capybara, what am I going to see in the Amazon?
Right.
You know? And so it was just really fun. And it's it helped me also just check myself and be like, you know what, Geneviève, like, just listen to people. Believe people. Especially
Right.
this is a man, this is his job.
Right.
So
this is where he lives.
it was just so outlandish. It looked so fake. And it was not in its natural habitat, but it was real.
And it swam? Do we know if it survived?
Yes. No, he said it goes, so they have all these holes, like kind of little mini tunnels in the cave that are underwater. So he's like, yeah, it'll just come back different.
And honey, I love some animals, but large rodents,
oh my God,
do not that swim.
Yes.
Nah.
The capybara was like, you want to come up in my space? I'm out. And we were like, oh, we're out.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, Chica, let's prepare for landing. Any final thoughts?
This podcast is just reminding me that I gotta take another trip, and I have a long 4-day weekend coming up in less than a month, and I was like, you know what can I do in 4 days? Maybe stay local in the United States, but maybe go somewhere I haven't been. So I'm gonna see what flights. I'm gonna go on actually flights.google.com, because you can put in your departure city and the dates, and then just see what ticket prices are anywhere in the world.
Yes.
So I'm gonna do that, because
it's one of my favorites.
You're inspiring
I'm
me.
addicted. Yeah, I can't. I feel like I window shop flights all the time, because I'm like, we're gonna, and then I'm always searching for like a deal, and Google just, I don't want them to take over my life, but they are taking over my life. They just seem to know exactly what I need when I need it, and they make things easier for me. So yeah, for everyone, especially the newbie travelers who are like, how can I start traveling? I don't even have that much vacation time. Well, just use what you have. If you do have a 4-day weekend, if you have a 3-day weekend, even if you just have a weekend or a day off, take a small trip. It's just nice to just have a change of pace, just to kind of refresh yourself and just go someplace that you feel safe, that you've never been. I know one place on my list is just Providence, Rhode Island.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be beautiful, and I just want to experience it. There's no like hot restaurant or hot club. I don't even go clubbing, so I don't even know why I said that. But like, I just want to see the city. I just want to experience it for myself. I just want to feel the vibe,
Yeah.
So just start small. It's for you. It's not for anybody else. It's not for the gram. It's not for Facebook. It really is for your own enrichment and your own life. So just do you.
Yes, and maybe I can tag along on that trip, because I've been wanting to go to Maine also. So we could just do like the Northeast.
I have never been to Maine.
Yeah.
I would love to do. I want to do more of New England, period. But Maine is supposed to be one of the most beautiful states. So I dig them. Yeah. And especially in autumn, it's supposed to be fan-freaking-tastic.
All right, well, let's make it.
We might have to get on that.
Yes.
And I can borrow one of your husband's neck pillows.
You can.
You guys have so many.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, if I don't get one from Reflection.
Yes.
Cool. So, last but not least, what's in your carry-on bag for this week?
So, in my carry-on this week is my Theracane. Now, you might be like, what is a Theracane? Theracane is like an oversized candy cane that is a self-massager. And so I have some herniated discs in my neck and my back. So when I'm sitting in a car.
My neck, my back. That is edited for the podcast. Okay, sorry.
So yes, I have some herniated discs in my neck and my back. And so sitting in a car or on a flight for a long period of time can get kind of painful for me. So my Theracane, I literally just bring it with me. It doesn't even fit in my carry-on bag. I just put it on my shoulder.
And first you gotta put your neck into it. Sorry, I had to. Then you roll the cane from the back to the front.
I'm gonna keep feeding this to you. TSA has stopped me before because they're like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "It's a self-massager. It's actually like a medical tool, not that kind of self-massager." That one's in my check luggage.
Ooh, child, yes.
But this one
with the batteries.
So, which I actually, story for another time, left that in Mexico this summer, okay? And when I got home, I was like, to my husband, damn it, I think I left my vibrator in Mexico. The worst. But anyways, so, but the Theracane is a great tool.
Muscle vibrator, by the way.
Certain type of muscle, yes. Very small one that's solely used
I
for
was
pleasure.
trying to save you.
No need. All women, we should be, yes, and we should be familiar with our bodies and what pleases us. Okay?
Come on,
So,
empowerment.
Yes. So the Theracane is in my carry-on. It is great. And actually, recently on a flight, my husband and I were in JFK, I think, getting ready to take off for Jamaica. And I had it, and it sparked this great conversation with like 3 other people around us. And I gave the guy a chance to try it out, and he was like, "Oh, let me get one." So Theracane is great for traveling because when you travel, it could be, you're just sitting, you're cramped, and also traveling should not be stressful. But sometimes when it is, you just massage out those shoulders and that neck and your back.
Yes, and
so that's
other
what's
places.
In my carry-on. Yes. What is in your carry-on bag for this week, Cherie?
Honestly, very simple. Just a pocket umbrella and an emergency poncho. Just because I just hate being caught in the rain. I don't, even if it's just to leave one place just to get into the cab. I just want to always be prepared. And I know, that may help some of you out there who are very sensitive about water touching your scalp or you're leaving, what is it? Sew-in weaves and wigs of all kinds of textures. But yeah, very simple, but I just like to always have it on me. I hate being caught in the rain. Sometimes I love it, but if it's freaking cold and you're walking around Edinburgh or something, is that how you pronounce it?
Yes, Edinburgh.
And you're walking around Edinburgh, that's not cute. Or Prague, and you're freezing in cold.
Prague, so beautiful.
When it's cold and wet, I feel so unloved. So I really prefer at least to stay dry.
Yes.
So yeah. All right, cool. Well, thank you.
Thank you. This has been so fun.
Yes.
You're a great seatmate.
Can I invite you on a flight back again?
Please.
With me. Awesome.
I really enjoyed traveling with you today.
Thank you. And thank you to all of our travel boos for tuning in for another episode of Black Travel Podcast. On behalf of myself and the entire crew, I'd like to thank you for joining us and do hope you enjoy the rest of your journey. We would love your support because it's deep out here in these podcast streets. So please subscribe to our show, like us, comment, and write a review. Follow us on social media to stay connected in between episodes. This is our global community and we want to continue to grow and let the world know. Have a beautiful, safe day and stay fly unapologetically. Peace. And we out. So that's it. Thank you so much for tuning in to this recording of Black Travel Podcast, part of the Throwback season. Like, comment, rate, subscribe. We really appreciate your support. You can check us on Instagram at Black Travel Podcast and on Twitter at Black Travel Pod. All right, squad. This is Cherie B. Thank you for listening. Stay fly.